damage too. So whatever.
How is it driving?
Lisa's
Fine, it's fine.
Okay.
There's Becky Joe.
Yeah,
Oh,
we got all kinds
Jared,
of
look
people
who's
coming
back.
here.
Hi,
Yay.
Jared.
Hi,
Good
Jared.
morning. Good
Good
morning.
morning. Jared, would you like to be an evaluator today?
Sure. I will
Oh,
do my
great.
best. Let's say
Great.
it that way.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Good morning, early birds. It is 7 o'clock. Let's get this meeting started. I'm your Sergeant at Arms, Jim Gould. I'm just acting Sergeant at Arms today, but next time I'll be the official Sergeant at Arms. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a positive learning environment in which every member can develop leadership, communication skills that foster personal growth and self confidence. And we do this at Toastmasters by emulating a business meeting. So we have some functioning and things that go on. So, we have Toastmasters, we have no guests yet. Everyone needs to practice good Zoom meeting etiquette. You know what that is. Keep your microphone muted unless you're involved in the conversation. But remember to unmute yourself in order to speak. You can just press down on your space bar to unmute yourself. If you hold that down, you'll be unmuted if you happen to be muted. Sometimes the space bar is easier to find than that button. Then we want to see you. Keep your camera turned on during the meeting unless you do not wish to participate. Be aware that the camera sees everything. And let's see. I am your presiding officer this morning. Welcome me to the center square. Good morning, early birds. Welcome to the peak of the week. We'll have another presiding officer starting in July. I'll continue on as the sergeant at arms. And we're part of an educational organization that operates clubs worldwide to promote communication, public speaking, and leadership. This meeting is in order. I see we have an invocation and pledge this morning. Toastmaster Emmanuel Metier.
Good morning, early bird. The prayer today, it says like this: Dear Lord, as the dawn breaks and a fresh day unfolds before us, we come before you with a heart full of hope and a spirit eager for your guidance. Lord, may your spirit fill us with joy, give us wisdom in choices we make, influence the words we speak, and inspire the work that we do. Grant us the grace, Lord, to embody the love and compassion of Jesus in all our interaction, whether they be with familiar faces or those we encounter for the first time. Help us to see others through your eyes, extending kindness, understanding, and forgiveness as effortlessly as you do. In our endeavors, both big and small, let us not lose sight of what truly matters. Protect us from the distraction and temptation that seek to divert our gaze from your eternal truth, promises, and love. Thank you, Lord, for the gift of this new day. May it be a testament to your unending grace in our life, yesterday, today, and forever. Amen. Pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Make that stop. Oh, well, that's nice. There we go. We have a joke this morning. How about it, Terry Montalegre?
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Mr. President. And I have a joke here I hope you appreciate. So a child asked his father, how were people born? So his father said, Adam and Eve made babies. When their babies became adults, they made more babies, and so on and so on. The child then went to his mother and asked the same question. And she told him, we were monkeys. Then we evolved to become like we are now. Then the child went back to his father and said, you lied to me. His father replied, no, your mom was talking about her side of the family. And I have a little one also, because Google people here. Is Google male or female? A female, because it doesn't let you finish a sentence before making a suggestion. And with that, I pass, Mr. President.
I love it. All right.
That's good. I'll have to remember that one.
Our grammarian today, and we have one, is Ricardo Vitti. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. Let me share the screen, see if it works. Okay, this is the word for today. I hope, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay, the word for today, and I hope you didn't know it, is vex. It's basically to annoy or worry someone. But it's in another definition, I saw that it was more with something like silly, not with something important. An example, this problem has vexed researchers for years, or we were vexed by the delay. So the word for today is vex.
Okay. Vex is the word of the week. So it's time for self-introductions. I'll go around my Zoom screen here. Tell us who you are and briefly what you're up to these days. Try to use the word of the day, vex, in your intro. Start us off, Anna Ilsen.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Anna Ilsen, Innovative Planning Level 3, Engaging Humor Level 3. I was trying to look it up, but I believe before facts became known as facts, I think it was called Vex or Dex, one of the two. But anyway, it was quite a vexing issue. Back to you, Mr. President.
Great. Alita Richmond.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Sometimes life is vexing in itself. Mostly it's not. It's a lot of fun. But every once in a while, we had this extreme oppressive heat up here that dried up my raspberries, my black raspberries that were going to be a wonderful crop this year. But nope, they're gone. Back to you.
Marie Rock.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, returning Toastmasters, it's so nice to see you all. My name is Marie Rock. I am working on strategic relationships and engaging humor, and I am quite vexed that the space bar did not work when I tried to unmute myself. Mr. President.
The key to that spacebar working is that the Zoom meeting has to be in the focus of the screen. So you have to at least have clicked into the Zoom meeting in order for the spacebar trick to work. So it does work. It's also a setting, so you have to make sure that setting is turned on. Okay, over there, Terry Montalegre.
Good morning again, Mr. President. And I am Terry Montalegre, Pathway 1, Level 1. And I'm quite vexed at that. Still here. And I'm also vexed that brand new car that I got and scraped it a little bit with the tree here. It just right from the start. So I don't know. I don't think I'm in a very good mood today and just quite vexed at everything. Thanks. Back to you.
That is a vexing situation. Ricardo Vitti.
Hi, good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. This is Ricardo from the delightful Denia. And I have a confession to make. Jose is such a good friend. As much as I try to vex him all the time, he's immutable. And that's another word for next time. Thank you, Mr. President.
I like it. Chris Gold.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, I am Chris Gould, EH5 and PM5, Presentation Mastery. And as much as I like Zoom, I mean, I'm giving a Google Photos class this afternoon and to people all over because of Zoom. We gave a presentation to another Toastmasters club about making a YouTube channel, all because of Zoom. And because of Zoom, we get to see all you every week, even though you may be in different countries in the world. However, it is a bit vexing that we don't get to see each other in person. And last week, we made the effort to go to a hybrid meeting of Club Awesome where we got to see the sky in the flesh. Yes. But very much appreciate Zoom that we get to see him again today. Mr. President.
Thank you. Toastmaster Gail West. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. President and fellow Toastmasters. I'm Gail West. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and I am just still on Presentation Mastery 1. I was on a roll there for a while, but my situation with my health has slowed it down, so hopefully I can pick it up again. Back to you, Mr. President.
And we're here to support that. Becky Jobeen. Or not. She just froze up. Jared Gonzalez.
Good morning, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and I see we have no guests. I'm happy to be back after a 4-week road trip, and for anybody who is planning on doing any airline travel over this summer, let me tell you, it is a vexing situation out there. As I was ready to board a plane from Fort Lauderdale to Dallas, there were horrible storms and the flight was canceled. As I was waiting to travel, I had to take an Uber to West Palm Beach, where I sat on the tarmac for a 45-minute wait before I got to take off. That was a good 4 weeks ago. And then just 2 weeks ago, as I was planning to return to Fort Lauderdale from Pennsylvania, what do you know? Horrible torrential downpours in Fort Lauderdale, another situation that had me quite vexed. Needless to say, though, I'm happy to be back and participating today. So looking forward to the meeting.
Oh, great. Did I get Ricardo Vitti? My Zooms has moved around. Okay. Emmanuel Metayer.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. Thank you for the opportunity to be with you. I am Emmanuel from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And today is a great day for me to be with you because I've been trying this past few months to be consistent. It has been very difficult, and that vexed me a bit. And I try my best not to vex anyone. And thank you, Vitti, for the word. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Jose Ferrer.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. Mr. President, there are no welcome guests today, but maybe one will show up. I'm Jose Ferrer. I'm coming to you from Javier, Spain, where I am very happy to report that even though I was very vexed because I had two technicians here shooting debris since 10:30 in the morning, at 5 to 1, in other words, at 5 to 7 your time, they finally got going and left with internet back on. But I was very vexed. And congratulations, South Florida, for those Panthers. Great win. Go Panthers.
Yeah, that was fun. Becky Jo Bean, you're back.
Yes, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, I am Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean, and I am vexed with my Zoom access.
I gotcha. Paolo Barone, are you there? Buongiorno.
Buongiorno, good morning, Mr. President, my fellow Toastmasters. My name is Paolo Barone, coming to you from the Hill of the Italian booth. Yes, last week was indeed a magic moment. I enjoyed so much the girls in person. I gave a speech and they were in the audience. And then we even had breakfast afterward. Oh my God, what a pleasure after 3 years. They are such a lovely couple. I love you girls. Yeah, it really was amazing. It was amazing. I'm so happy to be part of this club. I'm so happy to come here almost every week at the peak of the week. This is an amazing club made of amazing members. Back to you, Mr. President.
It was indeed a pleasure seeing you in person. And I am competent Toastmaster Jim Gould in Oakland Park, Florida. I'm presently doing Presentation Mastery Level 5. I'm working in Engaging Humor, EH2. Get credit for those speeches. I need to give some more speeches, maybe this coming up month. Our club has met all the requirements to be a President's Distinguished Club. And we have an installation of officers this morning because we're coming into this new period in Toastmasters. But first, I want to thank all of our current officers for your hard work and dedication to the club. And you're now discharged from your duties and responsibilities as officers of Earlybird Toastmasters. And now I can install the new slate of officers for their club Earlybird and prepare them for the year ahead. I don't know what I really have to do to that, but the whole idea is just to bring the new officers on and to welcome them and to make sure that you're going to do all the things that you're supposed to do in those roles. The most important thing is to get training, and training is available here on Zoom this Saturday. We have the link. I'll put it in the chat, or Chris will put it in the chat for you. But I want to welcome, and I will welcome, President Alita Richmond as our new president. Anna Ilsen is our Vice President of Education. I will be your Sergeant at Arms, so nothing will change there. Our Treasurer, Jim Day, they're still out traveling, but they should be back. Vice President of Membership, Mary Helen Day. Great stuff. Vice President of Public Relations, Becky Jo Bean, and our Secretary, Terry Montealegre. Do you folks, those who are present here, plan to do your roles the way you're supposed to do it?
Absolutely.
Hearing no no's,
Yes,
I hereby
yes.
welcome all of our new slate of officers to Earlybird Toastmasters, and I wish you all the best. I wish us all the best. We'll have another great year. Now, I guess that's it for that. Wait a minute.
Can I just make
There was
one
one more.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yes, I am so excited about this team of officers that we're all going to be working together. I encourage everybody to attend the officer training, as you just mentioned, and to also try to learn a little bit about everybody else's job, because teamwork makes the dream work.
Ooh, did you just
Whoa.
make that up?
No, I didn't make it up. I copied it, buddy. Thank you.
And
Well,
sharing
thank you.
is caring.
Thank you, Madam President. How's that sound? That sounds good. It is now my pleasure to introduce your Toastmaster of the day, and it is Anna Ilson.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Gould. Okay, so our meetings are composed of 3 parts. The first one is table topics, where we practice our extemporaneous speaking. Then we have our prepared speeches. Today we have 2, and I'm looking forward to those. And then we have what some consider the most important part of Toastmasters, which is our evaluations, where we lovingly hold up a mirror to our prepared speakers and let them know where they excelled, what areas they could improve, and things of that nature, without vexing them. We do have helpers to make our meeting run smooth. So we have a knock counter. Toastmaster Chris Gould, would you let us know what your duties are as knock counter?
Oh, I get to just sit back and relax because nobody in this group ever says any ahs or ers. But just in case, I will be listening. And if I hear one, I'm going to alert you with a visual ding. And I will give a report at the end of all of those crutch words that I heard. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gould. Next up, we have a grammarian who introduced the word of the day. Toastmaster Ricardo Vitti, would you let us know what your duties will be?
Yes, of course. My duties will be to identify good expressions, good grammar, and tell about that at the end of the meeting with the name of the person who did it, and also to identify bad use of grammatics, but in that case, not to vex anybody with those expressions. So that's basically my role as a grammarian, apart from the word. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vitti. We have a timer, and we will just acknowledge him now, and we'll hear more from him in each section of the meeting. And then with that, I will turn control of the meeting to our topic master for today, who is Toastmaster Chris Gould.
Yay! All right. Topics. This is where we get to practice impromptu speaking. And it's also an opportunity for everybody not speaking on the program to get some more practice, to be a speaker. I think there's one more reason for table topics, though, in this group especially. I mean, we joined this group, probably some of us many, many years ago, to get better at public speaking. But we keep coming to the group because we've gotten to know each other. We get to listen to each other's stories. And today's table topics is along that vein, to get to know people a little bit more. We're still got timing requirements, however. Mr. Timer, tell us about that.
Madam Table Topics Master, yes. Table topics have timing of 1 to 2 minutes with a 30-second deviation at the end only to qualify. I'll turn on the green at 1, the yellow at 1.5, the red at 2, and I may have to zoom you off the screen if you go too long. Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you so much. And along the lines of trying to get to know each other, I am just going to ask you what you like to do. And I keep them very simple and easy. So, for example, do you like to play games? Toastmaster Terry Montealegre.
Well, thank you for the pleasure of being the first one. I'm Terry Montealegre, and do I like to play games? I actually do not. When I was a little girl, we used to play Old Maid. And boy, if I got that card and I just thought, oh, I'm going to be an old maid or whatever it was, I just could not take it. So since I cannot stand to lose, I do not like to play games. But I must say that as I've grown up, and I don't know, in a club I am or a fellowship I am, they say, we're not a glum lot. We have to try and have fun. I have gotten more into games and I have gotten more into fun. I do love dancing. Dancing, I have always done since I was a kid. And then there were the discos and then salsa, whatever. I just love dancing. Games, not so much. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Terry. Next, do you like to drive? Toastmaster Paolo Barone.
Do I like to drive? Madame Table Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. When I'm in Miami, I drive a lot. The whole day, every day. Sometimes I enjoy driving. Sometimes I hate to drive. It depends. It depends how the day goes. If I had a great meeting with a client, meaning I sold a lot, then my driving back home, I don't care if it's raining, if it's rush hour, if bumper to bumper, I don't care because I still have that adrenaline going through my body on the great cell. I don't care. If instead I went to see a client and there were problems, and one of those clients so difficult to satisfy, one of those clients that think I am a plastic surgeon instead of a designer, stylist, a tailor. He thinks I can fix what Mother Nature has not been able to fix. Then my drive back home. It doesn't matter if I'm the only one on the road. It's a beautiful day. Still, it's horrible. I can't wait to get home, to get out of my car and just closing that day. Therefore, and when I'm here, of course, with all the kids, my wife, in the car, driving is always a pleasure. It can be a little bit discombobulating because sometimes everybody screams, everybody wants something, but it's always a pleasure no matter what. Therefore, I like driving and I hate driving. It depends on the day. Back to you.
Sounds pretty typical. Yeah. Good job. Do you like to cook? Manuel Mateye.
Do I like to cook? Cooking is not my strength. I always try to avoid cooking, running away from cooking. The only thing I like is tasting, trying to eat it. Once it's ready, I'm ready. But preparing the food, I am lazy, unfortunately. I remember back in the days, me and my brother, we live far from our parents' house. We went to school, and about 3 hours, we were in the capital of Haiti, and my parents lived in Gonaïve, which is about 2 hours drive. when it's vacation, so we all have to go back home. But me and my brother, we had to stay later because our school spent more time. So we have no one, no help. So we have to decide who's gonna cook, who's gonna do this or that. I always try to go to the grocery store myself. I said to him, I will do it. I will do the cooking. I will do the laundry. I will do the grocery, but the cooking, it's you. Until now, he is able to help his wife in cooking, prepare dishes, but myself, my wife always complained, you never help in anything. Cooking is not my strength. Although I would love to know more about cooking because cooking is an art. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Topic Master.
All right, and thank you. Remember this when he asks you over for dinner, okay? He means that you need to cook. Do you like to sing? Toastmaster Gail, are you up for a...
Yes, table talks, madam and fellow Toastmasters. I love to sing. You might remember my icebreaker speech. I showed you a picture of a little 3-year-old girl who was a dancer. I also was a little singer at the time and continued to perform and sing on stage for a while as a child. Excuse me. And then I was very much a member of our church choir all through high school. I was at that time a member of the First Baptist Church, and we had a wonderful choir. And 4 of us formed a quartet and sang and did present thing. But my biggest opportunity was, you won't believe this, I was at the camp of the Baptist in North Carolina, and Billy Graham was there, and I sang a solo in front of a couple of thousand people. So yes, I do love to sing, but I haven't been doing it lately. I can't even talk, obviously, this morning, much less sing. So it's been a pleasure throughout my life. Back to you, Madam Table Topics.
Cool. See, isn't that really is a big part of why I love this Toastmasters Club, just getting to know you all. All right. Do you like to have house guests? He just went away, but hopefully, Jarrett Gonzalez, there he is. Do you like to have house guests?
Good morning, Madam Toastmaster. I love having house guests. Not so much this morning, as one of my house guests is renovating my bathroom, and just 2 seconds ago I heard a loud bump and then a loud scream, and I couldn't help but mute myself and turn my camera off to see what was going on. And the gentleman who is working here ran out of the house and slammed the door, and I watched him run out to his truck. And so I sit here now still wondering what in the world is going on. So this house guest, I hope, is actually okay. Now, I have another house guest that's showing up this afternoon. That'll be my mom, who is coming in town for the 4th of July. So my mom is going to be spending the weekend with my wife and I am really looking forward to that. And hopefully, I don't hear any more loud bangs today, particularly if it's my mother, Madam Toastmaster.
Yes, that would be, you better go check that out. And I think our last one, do you like giving speeches? Alita.
Oh, Madam Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and always welcome guests. That's what Toastmasters is all about. This is where I learned to give speeches long ago when I first joined. I was very nervous and could not speak before people, but it was so much fun. And now that I'm back with you again over these last 4 years, I've had an opportunity to give a lot of speeches because our buddy Kip, bless his soul, may he rest in peace, was always encouraging to use that pathways and to use life experiences to work through the pathways. And I would find opportunities for speeches just in my daily life. And yes, of course, I like giving speeches, but only when I know what I want to say, have something to say, and think that people might be interested. And certainly, if I can get credit for one of my clubs, that's always a good thing too. Been running a little bit low, but I'm looking forward to giving a speech soon so that I can finish up another level. It'll be next month though. So I love giving speeches. It's fun. I've never had a problem talking conversationally. But when there was a crowd, I would be tongue-tied. And sometimes that old trait kind of falls into place here. But usually if I have something to say and I am prepared, I'm most happy to get up there and do my stuff. Thank you, Madam Topic Master.
All right, Mr. Timer, how did our speakers do?
Yes, Madam Table Topics Master, all of our speakers this morning did qualify. Terry spoke for 114, Paolo 212. He usually goes all the way to 3. Manny, I was listening so attentively to you that I didn't put the lights up, but you went for 129. That's fine. Gail, 106. Jarrett, 102. Just getting in there. And Alita, 154. They all qualify. Do we have a poll? Is that mine?
Yes, go ahead.
Let me find it. That would be this one.
Yep.
Go ahead and vote for your choice of best table topics. And back to you, Madam Table Topics Master.
And thank you all. Is everything okay, Jarrett?
Yes.
Okay.
Sheldon banged his thumb pretty good. So
Oh, ow. Okay, I understand the screaming.
okay.
Ow.
Ow.
Okay.
Okay.
Then that concludes our table topics portion. I
Thank you.
give the center square back to our Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gould. That was fun. Okay, we'll recess the meeting for what time is it? We'll
get 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, thank
three.
you. Are both speeches 5 to 7 today, I believe?
Mine is, yes.
Okay,
Yes, and mine is 5 to 7. I just don't know. Am I first or second?
you're first.
Okay.
And does that mean that I will be doing or evaluating? I will be evaluating Jose.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And Jared will evaluate Marie.
Not quite. Time's up. But our Toastmaster's not back yet, so it's like leaving the lectern unattended. And we were taught at Earlybird Toastmasters never to leave the lectern unattended. And if somebody left, we would always wait and shake hands with the presenter, whoever happened to be there.
I'm here. I'm here.
I see. Thank you.
No more talking about me. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. We're going into the prepared speeches now. And Mr. Timer, would you please tell us the timing requirements for prepared speeches?
I want to make sure they're both 5 to 7, correct?
Correct.
That's true. Okay. So, as the timer, I have these speeches timed for 5 to 7 minutes. I will turn on the green at 5, the yellow at 6, and the red at 7. You have a 30-second deviation at the beginning or the end to qualify, so be aware of the time. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Our first speaker today is speaking from the Pathways Dynamic Leadership, Level 3, Inspire Your Audience. Toastmaster Ferrer will introduce us to the idea that it's 2024 and our world has changed. How do we deal with it? The title of his speech is, Are We Nomads? Please welcome Toastmaster Jose Ferrer.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. My name is Jose Ferrer, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, are we nomads? It's the summer of 2024, and if I can make this go, we will go. So in the beginning, my wife and I discovered Javia in 2021. And we bought a weekend house. We came and we never left, except in the summers where we rent it out. We pack everything, we rent it out. So a nomad, a person who does not stay long in one place, a wanderer, that's the definition. So today I'm going to speak to you a little bit about what we're doing. And I wanted to just double check. Are you seeing my screen? Yes, very good. Excellent. So what's in store for this summer? Well, if we look at the 12 o'clock, you'll see it says Navarra, and that's the first area we're going to go visiting this summer. Next, we're going to go to Madrid. After that, we're going to go to Fort Lauderdale. From there, we're going to visit Jensen Beach, where one of my daughters and her husband lives, and then off to Gainesville to see another of my daughters, my youngest daughter, and her boyfriend, where they live and work now. And so that's the trip that we are going to be doing this summer. I'm going to show you a little bit how it looks. The first place, as you all know, we've talked about this. We live here in this little tip over here in the Mediterranean Ocean. It's called Javia. And from there, we're going to take our car and not in that straight line. We're going to circle like this, but we're going to get up to here where it's called Casa Rural Bagoleco Borda. Now that is in the foothills of the Pyrenees. The Pyrenees are the mountains that separate Spain from France. And we're going to be staying in this foothills. This is an actual picture of the house we'll be staying in. And it's a beautiful area, 5 miles more or less from the closest town. We're going to be truly nomads here. We're going to be just checking out the nature, doing treks. And as you well know, because you've heard me speak many times, I love good food, good company. And so we have the great fortune in this area to be about 30 kilometers away from San Juan de Luz, which is a very beautiful town on the coast, from San Sebastián, known for its great cuisine, very much influenced from the French area because we're so close to that. We will also be going down to Pamplona. Pamplona is where you will see in the next, starting on the 6th, 7th of July, the running of the bulls. Now, we're going to miss that. I've been there, done that. That's when I was a young nomad, and I'm not doing that again. I took pictures, lots of pictures, saw a lot of people get bumped and gored, and it was great fun back then. Now I watch it on TV. But Pamplona is also known for great cuisine. All of Navarra has fantastic food, fantastic vegetables, great cattle. It is just a heaven for foodies like me. So now I'm a nomad and a foodie going forward. What do we do next? We go down to Madrid. We spend 3 or 4 days, 5 days maybe, doing pesky things like yearly physicals and things like that because we still have our doctors over there. And so it's a good time to do that while we wait to board the plane and swing over. Literally, we fly over Oporto and we go into Florida, landing in Miami and moving into Fort Lauderdale. You all know that Anna Ilsen is my sister, and she is going to be having my wife and I as house guests, pesky house guests, for almost 2 weeks, Anna. So here we come. Believe it or not, we're going to be there. From there, we will move forward. We'll north to Jensen Beach is the next area we'll visit, where my daughter lives with her husband. From there, we'll move to Gainesville. And Sylvia, I don't believe, has ever been to Gainesville, so we're going to show her and be there for a couple of days. And from there, we're going to swing back down into Fort Lauderdale. And we'll be spending quite a bit of time there. I'll be visiting with my son who lives in Plantation and also with Anna and the rest of my family over there. So that is part of our nomad trip this summer. Now, what does that mean? Nomads carry their houses on their backs. That's the real definition of a nomad, right? We move from place to place, we wander. Now, it's fun for a while, but it gets old soon. Imagine we're leaving Javia, our home, on the 12th of July, and we will get back here sometime in the last week of August. And that's because this year we've shortened our rental period. We've actually blocked it for us because we are getting tired of doing that. But for 6 to 7 weeks, we're going to be living out of a suitcase. And that is not a lot of fun, at least for me. So packing and unpacking a house is lots of work and not a whole lot of fun. And in the end, we have decided that our escapades as nomads, living out of suitcase for several weeks, is not our thing anymore. We will do it this year. We plan other activities for our next vacations, and more will be revealed. So if you've never been a nomad, I encourage you to try it. If you've been a nomad, you probably might agree with me. And nowadays, by the way, as I was preparing my speech, I looked at the definition of nomads. And if you haven't done that, I encourage you to do that. It is amazing the type of nomads that we have in 2024. Digital, working nomads. I mean, all kinds of new nomenclature about that. So I'm going to stay with what I'm doing today. I'm going to be traveling, eating great food, and maybe seeing more of you while we visit Florida. Back to you, Mrs. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ferrer. That was very entertaining, very excellent. Yes. Okay, our next speaker is her project is using descriptive language, level 3 of strategic relationships. She's going to tell us whether words cannot say, or can they? Toastmaster Marie Rock will follow the Atlas of the Heart in exploring a deep dive that left her exhilarated. The title of her speech is Exhilarating. Welcome, Toastmaster Marie Rock.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and returning Toastmasters, I know you. I have had the pleasure of unique introductions to each and every one of you when you had the courage to break the ice, sometimes multiple times. I have lived through your fascinating experiences in 5 to 7 minute speeches, trials by fire, heart-wrenching losses, personal triumphs, fabulous and less than fabulous vacations, and family feuds. There is a commonality in this diverse group of Earlybird Toastmasters. We are all wordsmiths, lovers of linguistics, masters of the metaphor. We speak with gusto because Thursday morning is the peak of the week. This morning, we will take a short journey using Brené Brown's Atlas of the Heart, followed by my personal exhilarating experience. So let's take a look at Brené Brown. As an introduction, Brené Brown is a New York Times best-selling author several times over. She's a professor, a social worker, a researcher, a podcast host, one of my favorite TED Talk speakers, and one of the authors that I'm currently reading. Her book, Atlas of the Heart, Mapping Meaningful Connections and the Language of Human Experience, is guaranteed to ignite your curiosity and your passion for words. According to Brown, language is our portal to meaning, making connection, healing, learning, and self-awareness. In other words, language is our key to having a more fulfilling life. Brown has done some research she's done so much research, but one particular project, she surveyed 7,000 people, and they used 3 words to explain their emotions and experience: good, happy, sad, and angry. People aren't using the nuances of language. In her book, she goes through 87 different types of emotions and experiences. We had one this morning, vexed. Vexed. How is vexed different from angry? Let's give it some thought. According to Austrian philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein, the limits of my language mean the limits of my world. If I cannot express myself and let you know what I expect, let you know how I feel, let you know what I'm going through, it's limited. How do you know how we're relating unless I can be very specific about my language? Brown says, language shows us that naming an experience doesn't give the experience more power, it gives us the power of understanding and meaning. As you know, I am on the strategic relationships pathway. Strategic in that it's carefully designed or deliberate, and relationship, a way in which 2 or more concepts, objects, or people are connected. So this is my description of an experience that I've had recently And this is entitled To Charlotte. My heart was reaching through time and space, longing to connect to the little girl I love with the deep and abiding love unique to grandmothers. Our front doors are 892 miles apart. By some, not so far. Postcards, letters, gifts, phone conversations, virtual meetings, and text messages bind us with the fragility of the thread of a spider web. At last, we were able to spend 1 week together. We rode the flying fish. We explored the wizarding world in Orlando and the lizarding world in my backyard. We shared the piano bench and played music. Finally, on the eve of her departure, we plunged into the clear waves of the mighty Atlantic, eyeing each swell as it came to a crest, diving under or jumping over at that perfect moment. We were carried, we were cradled, we were connected. Exhilaration. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Marie Rock. That was, yep, certainly wordsmith at its best. Mr. Timer, how did our speakers do?
Our speakers did wonderfully this morning, Madam Toastmaster. They both qualified. Marie spoke for 636 and a few, and Jose spoke for, whoops, somebody covered my 652. Madam Toastmaster, vote.
Vote for your favorite speaker. Today it's a tough one. And also send them little notes in the chat. Okay. And with that, I will turn the meeting over to our general evaluator, Toastmaster Becky Jo Bean.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And fellow Toastmasters, we are going to move into our evaluation phase. And before we start evaluations, let's get a timing requirement for evaluations.
Madam General Evaluator, timing for evaluations is 2 to 3 minutes. I will turn on the green at 2, the yellow at 2:30, and the red at 3. You have a 30-second deviation at the beginning or the end to qualify. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. And being the person that is so detail-oriented and always on top of things, I have no idea who's evaluating who. So, oh my goodness. So evaluating our first speaker, Toastmaster Jose Ferrer, is
Toastmaster Alita Richmond.
Toastmaster Alita Richmond. Toastmaster Richmond, take it away.
Okay, great. Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and Jose Ferrer. Wow, our traveling Toastmaster and travel agent has returned. Today you were working in dynamic leadership, a level 3 elective to inspire your audience. I don't know about anybody else, but man, you put that urge to travel around again in me. It's been a long time since I've done any extensive travel. Jose, you excel on so many aspects of this presentation. You were well organized. Obviously, you were prepared. It was almost like you were telling a story of your timeline here around the clock, where you're going, and certainly your personal knowledge of this travel bug is something that you shared with us. And you kept the audience fully engaged because I assume that most of the people who have heard you over the past several years have recognized this travel agent bug that you have. When I heard your title, Are We Nomads? I was hoping that we were in store for another travel thing. And you did a great job with your screen sharing. I loved what you did with the maps, and you showed us where you're going. It was great. And the little pictures that you had on the side, very professionally done, I think. And I like the fact that you were able to position yourself in the corner of your screen. To challenge yourself, I hope you enjoyed this level 3 elective, inspire your audience. But I want to see what you will do once you move up to level 4 and find some of those more challenging projects at level 4. The electives are great. Jose, you have such a listenable voice, easy to follow and understand. Anytime there was maybe a questionable word or phrase that you used, you explained that for us. Your voice is strong and so expressive. You reach out to the audience member and keep everybody engaged. I would like to see a little bit more vocal variety at times. When you get excited about something, louder, more faster, maybe, whatever, just as to enhance your presentation. I look forward to hearing what your next vacations are going to be, since they're not going to be traveling. And it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richmond. And I know who our second evaluator is. Our second evaluator, who will be evaluating the fabulous Marie Rock, is Toastmaster Jared Gonzalez.
Thank you, Madam Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and thank you, Marie Rock, for a wonderful descriptive speech. I thought just right off the bat, the way that you started off the speech was engaging for your audience. You had a very excited tone, and I could see the engagement throughout the entire Zoom atmosphere here. I thought you used a really nice tactic, if we could call it that, is tying in some real world authors, particularly Brene Brown, who I think many folks know very well, and then another gentleman who I was not familiar with, to use some quotes that attached to your descriptive words. You had good eye contact throughout, and I thought you used really clear descriptive language as far as your vocal clarity went. At any time that you have to go in between your presentation mode with Zoom screen and going back and forth, I think that can be a challenge for anybody and can maybe throw off your timing. But I thought even with that you did really well bringing up the presentation piece and then returning to the engaging part of your presentation. Particularly engaging was all of the colorful language that you use. I thought it was really illuminating in terms of the things that you're working on. Strategic relationships you talked about. And important when you're using illuminating vocabulary like that is your vocal tone. And that is something else that you did incredibly well throughout the entire speech. I thought you lowered your tone at appropriate moments and raised at appropriate moments as well. And then the other thing that I thought was particularly done well was your use of hand gestures, and not overly gesturing with your hands, but again, at the right time and using it along with your tone to, again, add color or emphasis to the descriptive language that you were using. I didn't see our counter Chris Gold notify us one time of any filler words, which is always incredible during a speech. And I really like just when you said They rode the flying fish. That is particularly endearing to me, and I thought that was just fantastic. So, along with all of the language, and I think our grammarian may have something to say about that a little bit later, I was really engaged with your speech. I think everybody was. I thought you did an incredible job. The one thing I would add is the good use of pausing instead of those filler words. You found ways to pause yourself, collect your thoughts, and then get back into your speech, which it was really done very, very well. So thank you, Marie, for your presentation this morning. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gonzalez. We will now have our grammarian report. That is Toastmaster, our vexed grammarian, Toastmaster. Yes, I'm sorry. Let's have the timing results so we can vote. Everyone wants to vote.
It's getting to be that time. Yes, Madam General Evaluator. We had 2 evaluations. They both qualified. Alita Richmond spoke for 320. Toastmaster Jarrett Gonzalez 252. Go ahead and vote. Or is that mine? All right.
Choice 2 is Jarrett.
Yes, we figured that out.
Now we know.
It was such a mystery. See, even I was confused.
And
shall we get back to it? Are we done,
sure,
Mr. Timer?
go right ahead.
Okay. All right, great. Toastmaster, our vexed Toastmaster, Ricardo Vitti, can we have our grammarian's report, please?
Sure. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. With respect to the grammarian, I was not able to find any particular bad expression, except I think I did one, but I don't remember which one was. But I have collected some good expressions like from Paolo, fix Mother Nature that had not been able to fix, that Mother Nature has not been able to fix, or Alita, teamwork makes the dream work. And finally, Mary Rock, a couple of them, we are all wordsmiths. And the limits of my language means the limits of my world. That was it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster VT. And my favorite part of the day is our gonna evaluator, Toastmaster Chris Gould.
Oh, I just heard one. Thank you.
from my pleasure.
Really, this is quite vexing to be the counter in this group. I have this fun little thing here that I think I hope does help us when we can no longer ding a glass like we used to in person. And I don't get to use it because I didn't hear any ahs. Especially when I was leading the topics, I didn't hear any. There might have been a few. I did catch some towards the end. Jose Ferrer had 2 so's. Alita had 1, and Jarrett had 1 and 1 so, and Ricardo had a couple of ums. Good job, folks. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much.
Or shall I say, now I'm going to turn it over to our General Evaluator.
I was going to say I heard at least 7 gunners, but now it's 8. So sorry, pet peeves. But if you ever want to evaluate ums and ers, just listen to politicians. They're full of them. Maybe it's because they're trying to make up things at the spur of the moment. Who knows? I'm going to evaluate the entire meeting. Wasn't it fun? Wasn't it fun, first of all, getting to know each and every one of us and all those little fun things that we do? That was really great on the table topics. And then we had the famous stealing of the lectern. Oh, that was awesome. I miss those days of being in person. I think you should have just kept Anna silent for a little bit and made her suffer, make her pay for being late. And then, of course, speeches. Oh, such great speeches. First of all, we have a travel guide. I think Toastmaster Jose Ferrar is going to get a second vocation. I think this is the vocation that when we retire, then we become something more. And there's enough of traveling around. Let me be your host. And pretty soon he'll be booking our trips for us. Can't wait, Jose. Looking forward to it. And Marie Rock, I think you're going to be our resident poet. Honestly, I want you to consider two things. I want you to consider turning that into a book for your granddaughter. You can, there's books you can write with children. You can do picture books, or you could do a spoken word presentation. That is a spoken word poem. And it was just so beautiful. So thank you. Now we'll move on to our evaluations. Don't you love it when evaluations have meat? When you listen to an evaluation and you say, oh yeah, I could use that in my speech. That's what we had on both of our evaluators today. We had oh yeah, I could use that on our speech. And that was really terrific. On a side note, I want to mention that Toastmasters is on Zoom. Some of you may not know this, but if you're in Italy, or if you're in Spain, or if you're, say, in Pennsylvania, you could actually get on a meeting. No pressure, nothing like that. Just want to let you know it's all over the world. So when you're traveling, Toastmaster Farrar, I want to let you know that Zoom works everywhere. And the last and least important, but needs to be said, when you have a job, pay attention and do your job. I don't know what our general evaluator was doing this morning. She was prepared. She was up at 5 o'clock in the morning. She had everything set up. She just forgot the details. The details are important. That's what makes the meeting great. The good news is she's quick on her feet. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. And now we come to the important moment of the meeting, the awards ceremony.
All right.
Okay. Our best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Paolo Barone.
Thank you.
Best evaluator, Toastmaster Jared Gonzalez. And best speaker this morning, Toastmaster Marie Rock. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you so much. That was a great meeting. A wonderful job by everyone. Okay. What are we doing now? I guess it's time to end this thing. We've had some wonderful speeches, some very good evaluations. There are so many things that go on with us, and let's see, I commend everyone for your contributions and feedback. Feedback is a gift, so let's continue to support each other's growth. And before we adjourn, I think, is there anything else for us? No? Remember, Toastmasters meeting is about growth, learning, and camaraderie. Keep practicing. It's easy to get tongue-tied this early in the morning. That's a wrap. Let's put together a meeting for next week. Thank you all. I'll end the recording now.